Right now, I want to bring in our market experts. Ernesto Ramos, BMO Low Volatility Equity Fund Portfolio Manager, has $270 billion in assets under management. And Teddy Weisberg, our trader from the New York Stock Exchange, is with us. I do need first to go to Teddy. We just heard from DHS about how Election Day is going. Keep calm, carry on. Can you give us a sense of the liquidity and how the markets are trading? Any kind of disruptions that you see or calm that should be noted here?
Well, I think what should be noted is we're up almost 600 points as we speak. And I think one of your earlier guests pointed out that we haven't seen an election day move like this since 1984. And I think that's when Reagan was running for re-election, and he got re-elected, and the market went on a 16-year tear after that election, going from Dow 1,000 to Dow 10,000. So I don't know what this strength in the market portends. Normally, I think it would say a Trump win, but things are so confusing, Liz. I'm not sure we can say that today. But no matter what, the election's over, life will go on, and we can be sure of one thing. One way or the other, we're probably going to get some more stimulus, and that's going to be good for the market.
And there is the possibility, okay, the Dow now up 600 points, Ernesto, the possibility that one other thing we can be sure of, and that is volatility. And again, if you go back 1 year, we know that overnight, as it began to appear that Donald Trump, was going to win the presidency, the futures went absolutely haywire, dropped 600 points. It was nuts at what we saw. So can you give us a sense? And of course, then the market's recovered and we've seen record after record. Can you give us a sense of how you're looking to invest no matter what the volatility is?
Well, you're absolutely right. There's going to be some volatility around tonight's results. It's unclear what will be the final result, but we do have a set of three scenarios. We have a blue wave with highest likelihood, followed by a Biden victory, Senate stays Republican, and followed by status quo. The action in the market for the last month of October and the few days in November suggests that maybe the blue wave is, in fact, the right scenario, because you see the cyclicals and the value stocks starting to perform. But we're in for some volatility, as you correctly pointed out. So that's why one thing we do know for sure is that we do not have control over COVID. COVID cases are at their highest point ever in the United States. And we don't know when that's going to resolve itself. So that's why in our low volatility portfolio, we prefer companies that are relatively insulated from COVID and the cyclical in the cycle, the economic cycle, because given the uncertainty, we think those companies will continue to do well. And we don't want to take one view against the other until we see resolution of the medical crisis that is in front of us.
Yeah, I get that. But if you look specifically at what names could endure this, can you kind of parse that out for us, Ernesto?
Sure. It's stay-at-home names like the supermarkets, the Sprouts of the world, the Costco's of the world, the Kroger's of the world, utilities, American Electric Power, companies that don't really depend on big economic numbers. And granted, this might all end up being too defensively positioned, given that we might get a strong fiscal stimulus if the blue wave materializes. However, until we see that happen, we'd rather not get ahead of ourselves, because surprises can come at any moment, and as we saw in 2016. So we'd rather stay defensive until we have some definition in front of us as to what might happen.
Teddy, is there a trade that you're watching get a little crowded here as we head into this final, let's call it 26 minutes of trade?
Well, I think the crowded trade still is a tech trade, Liz. But I also think that's the trade where you want to be long, because if you get a change, if the Democrats sweep, that in fact, in my view, will be disruptive. The one thing we can agree on, we know we're going to get stimulus, but after that, it becomes disruptive. And the one area that will continue to show strength and good earnings, both on the top and the bottom line, are going to be the tech. So they led the market from March till now, and they're probably going to lead the market. after the election.
Teddy Weisberg, Ernesto Ramos, great to have you both with investments and, of course, the plumbing of the markets. Things do look orderly at the moment, folks, so we appreciate the perspective of these two gentlemen who are elbow deep in all that's happening on your screen, which I may point out in case you're in the car on listening on XM 113. Let me spell it out. Dow Jones Industrials up 620 points, S&P up 67, the NASDAQ up 230 points with a nod to Teddy's tech play. For